Yes, yes. Good evening. It is indeed a pleasure to have such thespians in front of me. In fact, I'm feeling quite intimidated. May I introduce two thespians to the rest of the world? With both of them, as with India and Bengal, theatre is not a way of life, it's also a passion. And it is a passion with these two very young ladies, very talented young ladies. I have with me here Choiti Kochal, an eminent theatre personality who started ruling the stage at the young age of 5 as Omul in Dagkor. Recently, of course, we cannot forget her performance as Nondini in Rohtaka Korobi. So, Choiti, and of course, her list of achievements is only too long for me to recite here. So, Choiti, of course, will have some very valuable insights into what we are facing at the time being. Sohini Sengupta, who does not know her, a theatre actress par excellence, a national award winner. Her range, her repertoire is so vast that it's difficult for me to really pick up one or two and talk about them. But these two ladies have adapted themselves over the years. I have shared a personal connect with both of them, and I have always watched in awe and admiration as these two ladies have adapted to the changing world around them. Sohini and Choiti, as a very young girl, I read a book called Quo Vadis, which roughly translated from Latin meant whither goest thou? Today, in this pandemic world, all right, where suddenly we be thrust into different forms of expressing ourselves, of connecting with the world, I would like to start off with asking both of you how your world of theatre is dealing with this, where that interconnectivity with your audience has now moved from a literal world to a virtual world. So, who goes first? Should I take it with Choiti first and then Shoini? Yes, Choiti? Yes,
Yeah,
certainly.
uh, this is really a very question. I think it resonates in all of us that I don't know that how theater performs or how theater exists without audience. So if I can start from there, that if I have to do theater, and for me, theater is not only passion, it is all my existence. I have learned to be a good mother by doing theater, basically.
Yes.
So I have learned to be a good friend. I have learned to be a better human being by doing theater. So I really, theater is like everyday life to me, which and very, I would say, things which never mattered to me and always mattered to me is theater. So I really cannot separate my existence from theater, but theater existence is really like all other form of art. It is facing a huge question, and here where our visual medium is concerned, we can redefine, we are thinking of presenting it in different ways. But how do I do theater without audience, and yet how do I do theater? I cannot, just because the world is facing this pandemic, I can't stop doing theater. So I think that we have to we cannot do theater and with camera, and you shoot it with all your visual abilities and professionalism, and make the whole theater into a visual medium, which we have many a time for years we have been televisionized, and that televised theater looks ugly to me. So I always feel that we have to find out, if it is a question of existence, then we have to find out a new form of theater, which
That's an interesting thought. Yes.
we are searching for. I would also like to hear, Sohini, I would also like to hear a lot of other, I don't know, even you also. And then we can continue it. At present, I think we have.
Yes, all right.
Find out.
Sohini,
Hi,
you
everyone.
have been a person who has occupied so many spaces, reinvented spaces in all your theatrical experiences. And not only that, you come from a theatre group which has done that, which has broken traditional concepts of the stage and the audience. I mean, whatever little, I'm a very poor student of theatre in Bengal, but whatever I have seen, and I've always watched in awe. So, what have you thought of in the idea of spaces, of connectivity, of getting the vibe of the audience, carrying them along with you?
Hello, everyone. Before I start, I would like to mention very quickly that Shuchishmita Raha ma'am is an inspiration to me. I was a student at St. Xavier's, B.Ed, and her energy, her positivity has always been with me all throughout. So with that, I know that we are facing a crisis right now. The halls are closed. People are not allowed to meet in groups or interact, and this is going to be around for at least another year. Yeah, till you find a vaccine, and even then, because of all this lockdown and such a lot of mortality, people are going to be scared to come out. So it's going to be maybe a year or a year and a half before we go back to being normal or new normal, I don't know, where we again go back to the stage. But I think we are going to go back to the stage. Things are going to be easy. People don't generally forget what they have done for so many years. People have been practicing going to the theater or meeting up with friends. And I don't think a pandemic is going to change that a lot. It is going to change it for the time being. But for the future, I think things are going to be all right. In the meantime, what is really important is how to survive. And because for some actors, theater is the only means of survival. Now, for that, I would say that, well, this is a time where you learn that theater cannot be your means of survival. There can be one or two actors who are professional, who can make a living out of theater, but largely theater is not going to run the home fires. This is somewhere that you start thinking of other means of earning. If you see that Nandikar has a Facebook page, and we have been doing stories called Tomake Salam, Tomai Salam, saluting warriors. These are about people who, for instance, Topon Dash, he's a dancer. He has worked with Tim Supple in A Midsummer's Night Dream, and Topunda has been selling fish in the market. So if you look at it as very diffident, or if you feel saddened by it, I think that is a wrong approach. I think this man is trying to set an example. He's trying to do something other than what he does. And there are a lot of others. Shadhon Barui, who everybody knows him, he is a very important light person. Shadhon has been delivering groceries to people's homes. Many other actors, they are trying to make a living otherwise. So in the meantime, this is something that we learned. This is a big, wake-up call. This is reality check, that if you think that theater is going to, make you survive, well, it is not. It cannot be the only means. Sad but true, because Choitidio Jani, the amount of money that is doled out to us from the government or from anywhere is nothing. It's peanuts. And you cannot, if you want to have all the things that you aspire for, like if you want to have a good life, it is impossible to do it with theater. So now, what are we doing right now? What I have asked my students at Nandikar is to look for other forms of occupation in the meantime. Some of them are teaching online. Some of them are doing other things. And also to use this opportunity of isolation to read up and decide how you can improve yourself so that when the halls open, you can come back with a bigger bang, you know. If you feel depressed and if you feel that nothing is going to happen, then I don't think that is a good way. So I personally am using this time to write a new play or to think what I am supposed to do, or you know, generally practice my skills. For a long time, it was for me a routine. Every day I was going to the theater, performing, coming back. So now out of this routine, I'm trying to do something else. Also, my institute, Nandikar's Institute, is almost done. So this was a time where I was very busy with that. So with that institute, when the institute is done, I think we will be able to do intimate theater, where a smaller gathering would come. There might be, it would be an all-sided open, you know, sitting space where different forms can be practiced. So I'm looking forward to that. Also to workshops and classes, maybe classes online, master classes on acting. There are things that, you know, you can do. But if you feel that, also I agree with Joytidi that televised theater does not look nice. Unless, of course, it is Frankenstein with Benedict Cumberbatch. Or what I'm trying to say is that if you want to do, if you want to televise theater, it has to be done, you know, in an extraordinary fashion, because theater has its own magic. The stage has its own magic. It is very different from films. It is very different from television. So in order to capture that, you know, to capture that passion, that, you know, that feel of, you know, being there, present in front of the actor, that requires a lot of effort and a lot of money, and it is expensive to really do that well. And also I would say that, you know, for theater people, if they want to televise their performances, the performances also have to be a little different. They have to, you know, take into consideration the camera, which will record their performances. So that is something that is not explored in India. I have never seen a play that I would like to watch. I have never seen one. So I think that, you know, that is another, that might be a fourth kind of art form that might come in. So it does not exist right now. But that could be possible, provided we have a fantastic director, a fantastic cameraman, a camera person, and also people who are willing to experiment differently. So that could be hopeful.
All right, thank you. So basically what both of you are saying is that you cannot envisage a life without theater, and whereas Shruti is in utter despair and living in a limbo because she's longing to get back to theater, Sohini tries to think about it in a different way. She's thinking of it as a waiting room, where she's waiting and honing and sharpening her skills and waiting for a better time to come. But one of our participants here is talking about the new normal and says, how will the new normal be in the case of theatre practitioners? Because people will try to avoid public gatherings in the coming days, even when the lockdown gets over. So which of you would like to take that? That probably...
I don't think people are going to avoid public gatherings, because the minute the lockdown is over, people are going to rush out of their homes. Can't you see that happening like everywhere? I don't think people are going to sit and, you know, think, because everybody knows that, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Okay, yes, because as a teacher, I find myself pitfall into something totally new. You know, to go into a kind of a virtual classroom is not something that I'd even thought of in my nightmares. Forget my dreams. So Dr. Lahiri asks you, he thanks you for your great perspective and says, if you do theatre on digital platforms, can that be still theatre or digital storytelling?
I don't know. That has to be something new. That is going to be something completely different.
Yes, Choiti, you think that will evolve?
Format.
Yes.
Pardon, I couldn't hear. I think it has to be a new format. And I was just thinking while Shohini, she was talking about so many different things. I wanted to, what I feel that always theater, the basic form of theater is you have to do it live. So, you know, if
Okay.
you digitize it, or if you, you know, if you television, basically if you do an audio visual, so it has to be like, I think long
Yeah,
back
it's
we
like
had those live television shows where,
it's
you know, you
like
have to do theater. We would do theater imagining that the audiences are there as it is. I'm sure Shohini would agree with me that at one point of time we forget that the audiences are there. Sometimes we forget, we think that we are. Actually, I you know this this kind of alone at this, so I open the door.
All right.
So, yeah.
Now, they are also asking you that recently
Yeah.
we have seen Shopnu Chandani posting the full video of the play, Tarai Tarai. Is that a new beginning?
See, I before I forget, I would like to say that when you televisionize a play, or if you want to digitize a play, there is another important factor is that you also keep that basic production alive. Like I can see my Dak Ghar. That is whether how far that art form works, or how far many people who had seen me performing at that time with Shomu Mitro would equate with what they are seeing in television is not true, I know. But like there are a lot of actors who have never seen Shomu Mitro. I have worked with him at the time I was very young, so people of my age have never seen Shomu Mitro, so they get to see Shomu Mitro also. It's another factor also, you know, that you can like Shohini's lot of plays. If it could be digitized, then people of the next generation, they could see that with our facilities what we did on stage. That is also a very big thing, I think, you know, that also you know makes you I would say, you know, it pushes you to imagine a lot of forms.
So you're saying that we can archive all your innovations, or you can
I
use
will
them as
value it.
archives so that future generations, because that's another question that's coming, that the current generation is more inclined to digitalized performances rather than the rich art of theater. This is something I do not personally agree with, because I've seen enough young people flocking to the theaters
Yes.
even now. The stage, how do you think theater as a genre should mold itself to appeal to the digitalized masses?
Ma'am, to add to Choititi, whatever she had to say, I would say the difference is between real love and virtual love. You know,
Okay.
so it's you know, virtual love can never be the same. It is something else, but you know, to be actually there and actually present, and people are going to long for it, because you know, even with this digital platform, people are going to get tired of it and want to get back to being there, especially I guess after the pandemic is done, when we have not met each other. I don't know about everyone, but for me, when I don't get to actually see my friends in flesh and blood, I just want to run out of the house and meet them and hug them. I mean, this is a natural impulse, you know. It's not
Of
so
course.
nice just staying at home and not being able to go out. I mean, it's very depressing after a point. So I guess, you know, people are going to go out. Also, I agree with archiving, but at the same time, I don't know whether archives are really appreciated by the next generations. I don't know how many theatre students, unless they are forced to, watch Tripti Jetty performing, or, I don't think people go back to that. And also, a live performance is something completely different. When you see a play that is shot on a camera, it's like a lot of milk that has been diluted with water, and it's okay, all right. And what's the big deal? This is what you feel, unless, of course, again I say, if it is done very beautifully. For that, we need good we need good people, we need good camera people, we need good directors to come up and actually, take an interest in theater and televise it, or
I personally feel that theatre, especially in our part of the world, has always been a people's theatre. It's very
Yes.
strange. It's a niche entertainment, all right? But at the same time, you'd be amazed at the kind of people who go there. It's not only the highbrow intellectuals who profess enough of theatre. Now, if we go digital, actually we are taking away from them, because the internet is very expensive and cannot be, afforded by a vast majority of our people. So we're cutting
Also,
the demand.
Also,
Yeah.
ma'am, I guess that the attention span, for instance, if you are in a theater, even if the performance is like, say, if it is 40 or 45-minute performance, when you see it happening in front of you, you cannot leave, you're transfixed. But when I don't know how many people actually would go through a 40 or 45-minute performance on a digital platform. They would be doing a lot of other things and sometimes looking at it. I don't think it would be good for either, the person watching it or the performer. So
And also, I think the sheer theatrical experience, of watching things together, of experiencing things together, of empathizing, laughing together, isn't it? That will never be. You're sitting in one darkened room, as we're doing right now, with one computer in front of you, a laptop in front of you, or a phone. Aren't we isolating ourselves?
Absolutely.
And is theater going to give us a means of bringing us back together, even today?
Yes, of
Of
course.
course.
You think that
Where will I wear my jewelry and my clothes? Where will I wear them? I need to go somewhere. I need to deck up and go somewhere and meet people.
yes,
I have,
yes,
I have to go and have that fish chop at
exactly.
Academy of Fine
And
Arts.
bring
Yeah.
us your performance over a hot cup of chai.
Ekdam.
At Nandikar festivals. I have,
Yes.
instead of booking dates for money, that time I always had my boyfriends stand in queues and for the Nandikar festival. At the same time,
Yeah.
at the end of the play, I thought, with whom did I come?
Yes.
It was such fun. And I always felt that theater is always a celebration. It is whether
Yes. Very
you
true.
have
Very
a
true.
house, a play, or few people are there. Of course, it does matter. It does matter a lot. But again, when you meet your friends and when you discuss, it is not. It is an experience. Even I feel cinema is also an experience. But I cannot say that television or web series can be an experience. It is always an it's a very, of course it's an experience, but it's a very different
Solitary
kind of
experience.
No, but Game
where
of Thrones is an experience.
they are not so demanding. We theater people and cinema people, we demand. You have to sit tight and you have to look at us. The lights will be off. So at
Yeah,
one
you're
point of time,
captive.
this magic we try to create.
There's another
If we
question
don't,
that has just
carry
come in.
on. But
That
of
is,
course, these things are very important. These things are very important, which has an impact on this whole theater as a word. So I
we've
think
just
this
got
magic,
this question.
which we couldn't transcend the present generation if they're moving away from theater.
Thank you,
That is,
Choiti. Now, there's another question that has come in. digital is always perceived as urban. Do you think that digital platforms can help us to reach out to the rural populations? There's a different kind of theatre there also, and a very rich theatre. Can we reach out to them digitally?
Well, I think that if you see the TRPs of television serials and theater, you really we don't need to speak about it. So theater was always for the intellectuals. I always feel, it's not about people who are rich or elite. It is about people who think. It is about people who like to decide they want to hear a particular story on stage.
That's how we have metamorphosed. I remember that whenever we used to come down to Calcutta for our holidays, going to Star Theatre was one of the highlights of our lives. And I think Star Theatre had a revolving stage in those days. So, it was a big thing to go there and watch the, plays, which were different. Yes. I still think that love exists, isn't it? I still think a lot of people...
Yes, ma'am. I think that, I think that we are too panicked, or we are hurrying a lot and thinking that this is going to end and something new is going to come. I don't think it's going to be that fast. Right now, we are in a bad place. We are suffering, but it's going to be over. Things are going to get better, I think. Maybe there can be smaller performances with smaller audiences or intimate spaces, but this form it's not going to die so fast. It's not going to change or mutate so fast. It's not so easy. Something that has existed for so many years, for so many generations, it's not going to go away so fast. And I think that there is so much talk about what is going to happen, what's going to happen. I think we need to just calm down a little bit and think how we can help actually open the halls and initiate the audience again and help the audience not to feel so worried. That is a basic thing that we need to do. For instance, the Academy of Fine Arts, because of the Amphan cyclone, is badly affected. The AC ducts are not repaired. So if all the theatre groups can come together and think that, because the Academy of Fine Arts is a place where we all perform, how we can improve that auditorium, how we can make it safe, how we can sanitize and make it, take temperatures and do whatever is happening. People are going to come back. Instead of that, we are going on a different track altogether. We're thinking that, okay, this is going to stop and we're going to do digital theatre. It's not so easy. It's not going to happen. And that is not theatre. It is not theatre.
I definitely feel that digitized theatre would never,
work.
It would not work. Theatre is such a, as Sohini said, that it's such a form which has been existing for so many years. And
so a digitized theatre could be a kind of a hybrid. But all hybrids...
It would be something completely new.
Yes.
It would be something completely new.
That's what I was just about to say, that this if you digitize theatre, it has to be a new format. It cannot be the format of a web series. It cannot be a format of a television serials, or it cannot be the same kind of televised theatres which we have seen
for instance, ma'am,
younger days.
Yes.
A new format.
For instance, ma'am, we are actually just talking about, we are just talking about theatre and about performance. But if you take it back a little bit, if you look at an actor's development, that is never going to happen online. I mean, the actor has to come and sweat it out and, go through that improvisation, fail and get up and prepare himself to be on stage. So that is not going to happen online. That needs a lot of sweat.
Yes.
That needs a lot of, interaction. So everything about theatre, all the things that are related to theatre, have to be live. It cannot be virtual.
I think Sohini has already talked about
And maybe, ma'am, it is going to be more important because it might get a lot more niche now, you know.
Oh, okay, yes. You have already answered this question, Sohini. Choiti, perhaps you could tell us, how are the performers being supported during these unprecedented times? The performance now, they're
yeah, your voice is
how are the performers how are the performers being supported during these times?
see, I would say that the performers are concerned. If you're talking about the actors, so
Yes.
as Sohini said, theater, if they're doing theater, they have to do something else. So people who are only through theater, they are, but the worst condition are the technicians of theater, who are not poorly paid, and they had to do many shows. They had to do regular shows, so that was their sustenance. They are being really gone for a toss. So I think all the groups individually are taking care of, and they are coming together and they're doing something. And when we got to do something, because theater is a very small family. Like theater technicians doesn't have a federation. It is not been backed, whatever. So we have to come up. Each and every group, they are after the number of technicians who they work for all the groups. So they are like showing you, they are either doing or they're doing. So they are really having a huge problem. Like,
another very interesting question.
But for Nandikar,
and so
there's a very important question that's coming that applies to you people and to your groups. That is, what about mental wellness? Depression, mental well-being, these have become the catchwords of the pandemic world. So is it invading the world of the theatre also? For the audience, of course, that catharsis is gone. We would watch a play and have a kind of a catharsis, isn't it? And we came out all spent.
Even for the performance, even when you perform in a role, it's cathartic. And to answer the previous question a little bit, what we did with Nandikar is that we pay about 25 to 30 people every month. So during this lockdown, a lot of our actors who have other sources of sustenance, they have given up on their pay and they have given it to people who need it more. To the technicians, to the people who are surviving, and of course we have put in a lot of our personal money as well. So this is how we are doing it right now. But I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So this is how we're helping. We're dividing whatever we have between everybody.
Yes, you made them pandemic warriors. I've seen that with your theatre group. They've made them pandemic warriors and pandemic heroes. It's very interesting to see them on the Facebook page. But is it across the board, or is it only a few theatre groups doing it?
I don't know, ma'am. I can only speak for my group. I can only speak for Nandikar, what we are doing. And I don't know about the others. I just know that some have formed little groups to distribute money to all the technicians. For instance, Prakash Bhattacharya, they made there are others who are trying to collect and help. But in the meantime,
I feel society at large should also come forward to help. Don't you feel so? Those who are here.
But everyone is in a problem right now, so you don't know who to ask.
Yes. Okay. So here, friends, we had two young stalwarts of the theatre movement. who refuse to say die. All right. They are waiting. They're waiting for times to change, and they will evolve, adapt, and come back stronger than ever. Perhaps
Absolutely.
they will take the digital movement in their stride, but they will see that the ethos of theatre exists and lives with us, and theatre will rule our lives once again. Thank you so much, Shohini and
Thank you,
Choiti.
ma'am.
Lovely to see you. Lovely to have met you here on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.